Good afternoon. We are here at Oakland and we're heading for Napa, and then we're going to take a little jog, a little surprise for you. But we're going up the East Bay, and we'll see what we can spot here. Pretty much straight away. Well, we'll come a little right here. Let's just in case it doesn't pan out, we'll just come around here with that pretty close at 030. Oh, we can start it at runway heading, just in case we have to go to runway heading initially. And here we go outside. Take the brakes off. Go full power. We're here at Oakland International. There's the terminal, main terminal over there, and the big runway. This is the old terminal where the terminal used to be right there. I got my air taxi certificate right there, and my multi-engine rating. Okay, here we go, full power. TBM930. Getting off a little early. I didn't expect that. Gear up, flaps up, and see if it tracks the heading. Yeah, that's off to our right. Looks like it's doing just fine. And let's see if we're climbing at the right rate of climb. We are. And we do have our flaps up. So we'll initially go down over downtown Oakland.
Good day.
And we'll say goodbye to them.
127.0 7 Bravo Charlie. Goodbye.
The Oakland estuary, and there's downtown Oakland, and we're looking over this way. This is somewhere along in here. I think it's Jack London Square is maybe down in here, and then what wanted to talk about is here's the Oakland Bay Bridge, and just past that is Emeryville. We used to go to Emeryville. This is the Oakland estuary. So Jack London Square is probably right down in there. And we're not quite. We're at altitude. There's Piedmont over there. We'll look over this way toward Emeryville. My buddy we used to sail over from Sausalito. Then later on he parked his boat at Tiburon. Tiburon was tucked right in there, and he lived on the backside of Tiburon. That's Mount Tamalpais right behind it. And I can bring the power back a little bit. And we are heading for Napa, and looking out toward downtown San Francisco right over there. This is the Oakland Bay Bridge. We can just barely see the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance there. Here's the Emeryville, and they had quite a marina right in here. You could come over and park there. I slept on the boat. They checked into the hotel. And Trader Vic's is along in here, and just a great time eating there. Berkeley, we'll see if we can see the stadium. There's the stadium right under us. There's the stadium, Oakland. Berkeley. The Bears are there. And then looking up this way, we're looking over toward Richmond, and right from here is Richmond. San Rafael is on the other side there, north of Sausalito. And right in here somewhere, I never went to it, but Rosie the Riveter Museum, and they built right in this Richmond area is where they built the World War II Liberty ships. Kaiser built the Liberty ships there. So we're on track heading for Napa, and we'll see over here is the Carquinez Straits going into the Sacramento River. This is San Pablo Bay right in here. And so we'll just pick up El Sobrante. I rarely went to El Sobrante, but we'll just pick up these names as we go along. And some of these, let's see if we can pick up some of these. There we go. There's Richmond, Bay Point. No, Rollingwood. Never heard of Rollingwood. We call it Rollingwood. Anyway, it's nice having these little pins pop up. I don't know what the one that differs. San Pablo. That makes sense because this is San Pablo Bay. Bayview. There we go. And over this way, yeah, Mare Island is right there, Navy base, and then Vallejo. There's the bridge. 80 goes across, and so Vallejo is in there. Benicia is maybe right down in there. San Jose was the first state capital, and then Vallejo was, I believe, the second or third, and Benicia was the second. And that all happened the first few years in the 1850s when the state became part of the U.S. So we'll fly into, and we need to drop down now to 2,000 feet. Get it down to about 1,800 feet. There we go. See if we hook on to the approach. Yeah, approach is working. So we'll let it fly the approach, and we'll see when things all turn green here. We're dropping down to 1,800 feet. So that's all hooked up. We don't have to worry about that. And we'll just look around here a little bit. Over this way is Petaluma, and on up in there is Santa Rosa. And coming back down would be I'll have to think of it. Right by Sears Point. Sears Point's going to be right in there. We'll first stop for lunch at Napa, and Napa's going to be right over in here. Let's look on our chart. We could look in the airplane, but this'll pull it in a little better. There we go, right there. So we're at 1,800 feet, and then we'll turn right and enter that. We are on approach, and we're starting to see the glide slope coming down. That will activate here shortly, right after we turn, and I can see the runway right out there in the right windshield. And there, everything turned green, so we are locked on to approach. We'll come back off the power. Yeah, and we're starting down, so we can get it down to about 85 knots. We'll go ahead and drop the gear to notch a flap, and look back over at Vallejo. Oh, that's the Mare Island right in there. Vallejo in the distance. You see Mount Diablo, and so that heads up to the Delta, which we just did. So we need to get this down full flap. That'll get it down to about 85. Get on the tail. And make sure we keep it at 85 to 90 knots. So of course we could be this is simulating an instrument approach. So we'll pretend like we were going to lunch here, and then I'll take off and I'll show you up toward downtown Napa and up a little bit. I have to think of the next town up where the French Laundry is. Forget the name. The next one up after that is Calistoga, and Calistoga would be right up next to the mountain right in there. I can't remember that one either. And we're a little slow, 82. The Japanese, I don't think they do now, but they were training their pilots here. They were using back in the late 60s, early 70s. They were using Pipers. They were JAL, Japan Airlines. I remember seeing that. I never met any Japanese pilots, so anyway, this is hands off. I'm not. All I do is adjust the throttle. It's locked on to the glide slope. We'll look back at the panel here again. You see that the magenta glide slope is locked on there, and we're coming down at 450 feet a minute. So we'll go back outside, and when we get down to minimums, which would be right about now, if we didn't see the airport, we'd hit the autopilot. Turn the autopilot off. We'd hit a missed approach. It's only hanging right onto it right here. There we go, flaps up, and then we'll put a notch down, and then we'll give it full power. Then we'll go over to gear up, flaps up. We'll go over to the racetrack, which is right here, the little notch right there. And we don't have to go very high. And we see the airplane is heading almost in the right direction. And 1,000 feet should be just fine. So we'll look back at Napa Airport. Jonesy's was the name of the restaurant. So flying into, I landed twice at the Sears Point. They have another name for it now, which is name of some product that pays to have their name on the track. So we'll get out here. Look to the side. And keep an eye out for the racetrack. And back over this way is Petaluma. And again, Sonoma was the name of the town in here. I can't quite see Sonoma. I can't remember the French Laundry, what the name of the little town there for the French Laundry. And I think with this little bump right there, that looks like where the racetrack is. I remember that. So Mark Donohue, who drove for Penske, I'd met him in high school back in Summit, New Jersey. And we weren't close friends, but we knew each other. And when I offered to fly him from Monterey on a Monday morning up to Napa, Penske, the next race was going to be in Everett, Kent, Washington. And so he had to pick up two. They came in first and second. That's when the TransAm, and they were racing the Camaros. So the backup driver back there, it was Ed Leslie. He ended up being a Toyota dealer there in Monterey, and he may still be around. Mark isn't. Mark was unfortunately killed over in Europe driving Formula One. We'll put a notch of flap in, and we'll come around and land.
NorCal departure Cessna November 27908 Charlie is at 600 feet, climbing 9,000 feet. Cessna November 27908 Charlie, NorCal departure altimeter 29.902 radar contact, continue.
So I see the runway now. I mean, it's not the runway, the old drag strip. And we're down to 90, and that's good. And anyway, Mark picked up the checks on a Monday morning, and my boss at San Jose Piper, Larry Hannon, he's gone. He gave me permission to take the day off. I told Mark I could fly him up, and the cars were already at the airport. I mean, at the track. They drove overnight. It was probably 3 hours driving up from Monterey. So they were probably up here about 10 o'clock. But they would have been at their motel and been out to the track. But Penske at leased the track. And then Mark and I flew in here in a Cherokee. Then the second time was another friend of Mark's and mine. His brother had dated my sister. And I flew him up, and we had permission again to land. And we're a little bit slow. We should be at about 80, but we want to be a little slow because you want to. But the run out here is up the hill, so we're in good shape. Little balloon job there. There we go. Flaps up. And then we can do a little switchback here, which is kind of fun. Let's see if we can do it here. And just have a little fun here. Get off the drag strip and run down the racetrack back to the start-finish line. And the start-finish line is, of course, over to the right over there. And I could use my rudder pedals. Anyway, this is the old track. What we'll do is we'll quickly run over to the start-finish line and up the front straightaway. This is the start-finish is just off to the left, and then the track comes out of the straightaway and goes up the hill here, up to we're in the first turn. So we'll stop right here and look around. And it's just an interesting track. The fans can sit on the hill here. It's really nice. So this is a start finish. I don't recall a building there or a building over there. And we parked the Cherokee right over there by that building. It was out of the way. It was off the track. So we'll kill the throttle. We're looking back at Mount Diablo back there. See if we look over toward Napa. Yeah, I can see the light for Napa right over there. So this was fun coming up here to what they call Sears Point, and that's my story. I'm gonna stick with it, and we'll talk. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for riding along. Bye bye.